Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for our Zoom session tonight. It appears as if everyone is present. We have Lori and Shubek. Shubek, what's your first name?
Sally. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I saved it as Sally.
Okay, so we have Sally, Tracy, and Candace. And I am Barbara. So we are peer review group 3. And prior to starting this, I believe that some of us have had the opportunity just to chit chat and talk about it. So before we get into it, is everyone safe as far as the hurricane is concerned?
Yes, I have a lot of people at my house right now.
Okay.
I do too.
Okay.
No, I'm in the mountains, so if anybody wanted to come my way, they could. Currently,
Wow.
I'm in the Piedmont, so we don't know if we're safe or not. We're supposed to get 17 inches of rain.
Well, I'm in Charleston, so we are
Oh, my
under
goodness.
evacuation, and I will be leaving in the morning.
Well, Barbara, you can come to my house. I got a lot of people from Charleston here.
Yeah, okay, good to know. All right. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the team policy development, and we're going to quickly discuss policies that we would like to set in place as far as issues, conflicts, and problems that may arise throughout the semester. I do believe that we've already had similar issues with sickness, but we were able to communicate, and that worked well for us. So the first event says, if a member misses a Zoom session, what would we like for our policy to be?
I would just suggest that they go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm open to whatever. I just think that they would need to go back and watch it to see what was said.
I agree, because we know that things are going to happen out of our control. And as long as we stay on board with the same, watching it, emailing each other, I think we're in good shape.
Okay.
If it's a peer review one and you need to talk to the person about the peer review and you didn't get the opportunity to talk, could we just say we'll email that person and ask questions if they were not able to be at the
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think the only thing that I would add is if we could send a courtesy email just so that we all know that that person is not going to be at the meeting, and then that way we won't be looking for them to chime in.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. The second event is if a member fails to provide feedback to appear by the deadline.
Can we just say we won't do that?
Well, what was the deadline for peer review this time? Sunday, or what day was it?
It's
Today?
There is no deadline. So I'm assuming that we will set our own deadlines, because we just know that the deadline had to be between Sunday and Thursday.
I think we said our papers were due Sunday, so we could have them looked at, so we could do this conference Tuesday. So like 2 days ahead to give us time. And medical things happen, and I get that, but that was communicated, and I think we all worked that out together fine.
Okay.
I think if we all work together, like I've never been that sick, and I still managed, somehow to get my head up and finish it. But it wasn't the easiest thing. But it's different if it's happening every week versus it's happening every blue moon. I know it's the very first time y'all have ever dealt with me, but I didn't even take a sick day last year. But hopefully you'll get to know that, as you get to know me more. And I think you just develop that, where you understand.
Right.
All right.
Well, the only thing I can think of is if you haven't gotten your feedback by 2 days before the due date, then you email the person that's supposed to be giving you the feedback and ask what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And the next one says, a member is believed to be plagiarizing the work of others. I would like to think that we are all going to be professional. However, I believe that if there is a question, maybe in our feedback, we can ask them to provide the reference.
I don't think anybody would do it on purpose.
Right.
Right.
But you absolutely could catch something that didn't maybe sound like their writing and just say, did you forget to put quotes or something like that?
I think it definitely would be an accident, so we would just need to ask.
So just take care of it in the peer review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. A member is not providing quality or substantial feedback.
I think you just say, can you give me more specific feedback? I really don't, I'm not able to make any improvements from this. Is there anything you can give me?
Do you have any details where
Right.
you point this out to me?
I mean, like, looking at Tracy and your paper, Barbara, I've already made changes even before I got a peer review based on what I saw from you guys. Just from reading your papers, it made me think, oh, I haven't added a picture here. I didn't add on my PLC agenda. And so I went ahead and did that. Y'all didn't get to see it yet. I expected on your peer review, but it's something that I've already taken care of just by looking at y'all's.
Okay. Anyone else?
So if we don't feel like we're getting quality feedback, we'll just contact that person and ask for more details.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next one says, if a Zoom master does not share the link after the meeting. I think we could just send an email and ask.
Mm-hmm.
Remind them.
Just a quick reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A member stops participating and or contributing to the process.
Ask
Does that
what's going on.
Not doing a peer review at all, or not coming to any Zoom conferences, or both?
I believe it's both. I would say first, just check in. I believe we shared our phone numbers with each other because it could be something, someone could be sick or something of that nature. So we could check in first, and if they still choose not to participate, then we would have to contact the professor.
Right.
I mean, because that's kind of beyond our control.
Right.
Well, and you need your 2 peer reviews.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you can
because
do the best job
everybody's
you can.
we're all dependent on each other.
So it could be that if someone's not doing what they're supposed to, that one of the others of us is going to have to pick up and have 3 instead of 2 to do to make sure everybody gets what they need, and then that's inconveniencing everybody.
Sure.
Okay.
So we check in with the person, and then if it doesn't improve, we'll contact Dr. Todd.
Yes.
Yes. All right. What will we do if a member is rude, offensive, or overly emotional when giving or receiving feedback?
I think we have to go back to the plagiarizing. We're all adults. I don't think we would mean to do it. There's probably something else going on, and we just have to say, settle down.
Well, and I personally don't have a problem that if I'm coming across that way for one of you all to call me on it and say, now,
Right.
I don't either.
that's not, that sounds a little rough or something, whatever you want to word it. But
Well, I think as our profession that we're trying to go into, that's one of the things we need to learn how to do is
Right.
say it. Hey, you might want to step back just a little bit here.
well, and to take the criticism too,
Exactly.
critique. So we'll just address it with that member.
I think
believe
so.
Okay. Are there any other events that we need to make policies for?
I can't think of any. When I couldn't get it in on time on Sunday, I wasn't sure exactly what to do. I emailed you guys and I emailed Dr. Todd and Dr. Tillman and told them what was going on. They were both very kind and they asked what they could do to help me. And they just said, you know, we'll do whatever we can to help you. Just make sure you keep your peers, you know, in the loop and know what's going on. So I mean, they were very gracious, and I mean, I don't plan on abusing it by any means, but just to let you know, they just want to make sure that we stay in the loop together.
Yeah, I think as long as we continue to communicate with each other like we have been, then everything will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think communication is definitely key to this working out well.
Okay.
And I like that we have our group email, and I like that we have our Google folder, and and all that, so that everybody's kind of on the same page.
Yes, and thank you for taking the lead on that. Putting together the Google folder. I appreciate that.
And I'll get it organized tonight.
Okay, so that is all as far as our team policy development. Do we want to go ahead and first, just in case someone doesn't have this in front of them, I'll just go ahead and note that there are some tips and suggestions that they included for us, and that's that we refrain from getting advice or feedback from other people other than our peers, instructors, and clinical coaches, that we do not discuss grades with one another, that we learn how to administer negative criticism with a positive outcome, learn to accept negative criticism and grow from it, use the clinical experience Blackboard site to get additional help if needed. Remember that coursework is handled through the Blackboard. The internship clinical experience content is maintained through TaskStream. Behind is a place where it is difficult to demonstrate leadership. If you get there, get out fast. Read the rubrics carefully. Examine every word and phrase. Do not do most of it and expect positive results. Never forget that this program is designed to develop leadership skills through competency. So that is all. And I believe that we are ready to start talking about our individual papers.
Who wants to go first?
I don't mind.
So you want us
But
to talk
it
about you? You want us to talk about you first, Sally?
It doesn't. I'll do either.
Well, why don't we just start with Sally, and we'll go around, and the people who reviewed you can kind of go over their reviews. Will that work?
I don't.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Let me get a notepad. I had one. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, you want me to go first?
Sure.
All right. I thought it was a very well laid out paper. I thought you did some of the things that I was critiqued on. I was able to think about in a different perspective and see what it meant by reading your paper. I'll be honest with you, that helped me a lot. There was only the reference page was something I noticed that needed to be in alphabetical order.
Oh, thank you.
And I was commented on my reference heading needed to be centered. When I went back and researched, I realized that yours did too. That was helpful.
What was the second one?
The reference heading needed to be centered. And where you had numerals and number words, it was used interchangeably. And so I researched to make sure what APA wanted. And anything above 10 and above, use a numeral. Anything less than 10, use a number word.
Oh, that's good to know.
Except if you're talking about page numbers.
Right.
So if it's like page 6, then you put a numeral. But if you're saying there's 6 kids, then you write the word.
So less than 10, you said?
Less than 10.
And 10 or greater,
You write
Do
that
the numeral.
you can use the numeral.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry. The other thing is the narrative. Your research is wonderful, but I did not get a lot from your meeting, your vision. Just a little bit more, and I wouldn't say like add a whole page, just a blurb more about what the purpose of a division.
Right. I've actually gone back and added some. I got to the point where, because of my sickness, which is no excuse, but I realized I was lacking in that area. But the research to me was more important for y'all to be able to peer review. So I ended up lacking in that area. But thank you, because I realized I needed to go back there.
And I figured it was due to sickness. And I knew I didn't even think you really have been able to get to school being so sick if you were able to hold a long meeting to get it all done because you were so sick. But
we really didn't have a very long meeting, but we've met since then. So, but I appreciate that. That's great feedback.
But other than that, I thought everything was easy to read, well laid out, straight to the point, done in third person. And Dr. Todd said she didn't mind names. Dr. Tillman has said numerous times, no names in these papers.
So I need to take those out.
Yeah,
So people's
do like
names.
Teacher A or Mrs. H or something.
That confuses me when they one says one thing and one says the other. I can't keep up.
Well, I remember that Dr. Tillman saying it, no, and then Dr. Todd said it was fine, and then Dr. Tillman said, I know Dr. Todd said it was fine, but I'm telling you no.
Okay. And I really felt like I needed to, when I asked some people for their information, some of them didn't give me, like whether they had their master's degree. Some of them just say, I've been in education. You have to keep asking and keep asking. So I need to go back and when I read some of y'all's papers, I realized I needed to get a little more information on whether they had their master's, what was it in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I need to go.
That I was going to say, your box, why, what grade they teach and all that was really good, but you didn't put the purpose for choosing them.
Okay.
And it may be their Good try, Bob. Sorry.
Okay, does it say we really have 9 minutes left?
Yes, I was just about to mention that.
Okay,
I didn't realize.
me either.
It just asked what time we wanted to set it, and so I set it for 6:30. But apparently, you only get a 30-minute free Zoom. Did anyone know that was the case?
I did not.
Mm.
Okay, so let's just move on from me. Do I need to go to the next person who peer reviewed me, or let's go and get at least each person have one person talk about it? And then I can just read the other one.
Okay, so let's go to Candace.
Okay.
All right. Candace, I was one of your peer reviews. I thought that the content was good. The one question I did put in there was there data to show you that that's what you needed to do? I know you said it was part of the school's mission statement.
Right.
But is that part of the mission? How did you know that was part of the mission statement you needed to focus on? Does that make sense?
Yes. There is data to support that, and so I've added that into my paper. Yes.
Okay. And then let's see. As far as strengths, you included the 4 sources. It was in APA format. Let's see. You included their roles, their strengths, and other details like why you chose each member. So I thought that was good. You used email to contact them, so you've taken care of that one too. There was only one APA thing I noticed, and that was that you needed a page number for a direct quote.
Yes.
And let's see. Oh, and then I just said that you might want to add something to support that you all talked about,
Right.
the vision and all that stuff. Let's see. Oh, and then I just said that when you're talking about something, you might say, see if, put in parentheses Appendix A or Appendix
Right.
B, just so they know what you're using to support that.
Okay.
And then, let's see. I believe that was it. Otherwise, I thought it was really good. I just, like I said, there was just that one APA thing.
Right. Sure.
But I think if you answer those questions, then you'll be good to go.
Okay.
Okay. Next, Lori.
I was one of Lori's. So I'll go. I thought yours was amazing. I thought yours was wonderful. Are you there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Huh. I had a call come in and I thought I lost everybody. I thought yours was great. I really liked how, actually, because something you had commented on mine was to like the C Appendix A, so I liked seeing how you incorporated that in yours. I thought your school profile was absolutely wonderful. The only thing that I noticed that maybe, and I don't know, just because, I mean, we're all new to the way this is supposed to be laid out, was that I noticed on your appendices how you had like the PDF, and I don't know if that's okay. Like, I don't know if we can do it that way. I thought that was actually a good way to do it, is what I was thinking when I looked at it, but I don't know if that's okay or not.
See, and she, Dr. Tillman and Dr. Todd have both mentioned that I thought they meant that because they didn't want like the picture in the thing, they wanted the link to the original thing. Is that right? Or did I
That
miss
is right. And I emailed Dr. Tillman because mine I knew was blurry because I could not get it to save in a link. I could not get any of my stuff to save as a link. And I knew it. And then, Lori, I think you pointed out to me that it was hard to read. And when I emailed her and said, I can't get this to work, what do I need to do? She said, don't worry about it and keep moving.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, I noticed that you guys had the actual artifacts, like the
Right,
actual.
'cause I didn't really know how we were supposed to do that. I couldn't get clarity on
Right.
what
And then all I did was put the links to the.
Right, and I liked that. I actually, because I thought it made it not as much, there or whatever. Like, it kind of helped with space.
So which do you think we're supposed to do? Or
I
do you
don't
think-
know. I guess we'll find out.
But I couldn't get mine to do links. Nothing I tried worked, and she did not give me any advice.
Were you trying to do PDFs or what?
I was trying to do anything to make a link.
And I, just going back to one of the sessions, I believe that they want the actual artifact updated because they said they don't want for the evaluator to not be able to open something and then we get dinged for it. But I did like your links, and I think as long as they can open, it shouldn't be a problem. But I know that was one of their main cautions about like Google Docs, and if you had a MacBook versus
Right.
a Windows, making sure that it was a universal.
Well, and you cannot attach a link in Google Docs. You can in Word.
Okay.
So as soon as if you've been, like I worked on my paper in Google Docs, but then ultimately switched it over to Word because that was what they had wanted. And in there, if you go to insert an object, you can choose a file from your computer and it will automatically upload that file. So what I did was I saved everything as a PDF to my computer. And then when I went to Word, I did insert object. It was way over on the right-hand side, object, and then it said file. And then I could set the link to that. And I'm hoping it worked. I mean, when I clicked on it, it worked, but I haven't tried it from like another computer. Did you try to open any of them? Did it work?
I did, and it did work. But I would think a PDF would be safe, though, anyways. I mean, pretty much any computer can open.
Yeah.
But I was able to open them.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for checking that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I was one of Tracy's peer reviewers. One thing that I would note is that on the title page is not true APA, just when you look at the spacing as far as what they have, when you look at their examples, page numbers are supposed to be included as well. Your research was phenomenal. Your school profile was phenomenal. I would also just, where was it? When you included on, I guess this would be page 4, the bottom of 3, the top of page 4, the 4 questions that DeFore talks about, because that is coming straight from his article, you need to include a page number.
Okay.
That was the
Because I
only
went back and added several things, and that's one thing. I was like, how do I add this page number?
Okay, so
Did you
that was
see how
the
to do it?
only major thing that I saw, that I didn't want you to get dinged for not having a page number. And then you'd already pointed out that you knew to change the numbers into written form if they're less than 10. Your appendices is on point. Love it. References, you know to center that. And I believe that there is no colon after it, but I will double check in just a moment to make sure that I'm telling you the right thing, but I don't believe that there's a colon after the word references.
And I think I took that off when I worked on it tonight.
Okay. But other than that, yours was excellent.
Thank you.
Solid research, everything is solid. And we have less than a minute. I know that mine, and I apologize for it being uploaded late, so I know